you dying? Am I going to get to do an episode on you?
No.
Can we drive to campus real quick so you can die there?
Let's be honest, though. If I died here, I would haunt that campus. I'm close enough right now, but I also... We know.
No matter where you die, you're going to haunt that campus.
I'm pretty sure I will be the resident ghost of VP Henry, and every other ghost that's in there right now can disappear.
You can't just move into someone's neighborhood.
Have you met me? That is my neighborhood.
That seems a little toxic, sir.
A little bit too much towards gentrification.
Yeah, you can't gentrify
the ghost world.
What are you going to do? Move in and open up a coffee shop that sells $8 lattes?
Oh. First of all, no, because I don't even like lattes. I'm not going to do that to someone else.
The bitterest lattes possible. Ooh, a brewery.
But
you can only sell IPAs.
Ew. That's so gross.
Ghost PAs?
Oh my gosh. That's a good cold open.
Ghost gentrification.
Ghost gentrification. Oh.
What wall is that if you acknowledge what the cold open is?
Well, in theater, it would be acknowledging I guess it would be...
I guess it'd kind of be the fourth wall, but if you talk about the ghost world, is it like the fifth wall?
That would have to be the sixth wall, like the sixth dimension. Sixth sense, you know? I see dead people.
I'm not dead.
I didn't say I saw dead people when I was meaning you.
You just went, I'd see dead people.
Oh. Do you not get the reference?
I get the reference.
Okay.
Never seen the movie, but I get the reference.
You've never seen that?
Never seen it.
I mean, I know you don't like, scary movies, but...
It really pained you to call that a scary movie.
I know, because it's not. It's a psychological thriller, is what it really is. Huh, that's interesting.
You use those terms interchangeably.
No, I don't.
I feel like you do.
I do not. Anyway, we're back after I had the sick. After I had the sick.
I don't know what you had.
I don't know. And it was so frustrating because I couldn't do anything correctly.
Literally, you were like, we can record.
Yeah, it was.
I'm so sorry. So sorry for that.
That was a very specific ick for someone.
Yeah, it was. I'm so sorry.
No, I was like, wait, we can still record. We can do this.
No,
and I was so sick.
Yeah, that was not happening.
I mean, it was bad enough that even on Monday I was like, should I be at work? Like I went in early and I was like, I'm going to prep for these courses because I have a lot to get done.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't have done that.
I was sitting in my office like frantically prepping some stuff and at one point I went, do I need to cancel classes? And then I just powered through it and taught my 2 classes.
And then you felt even worse.
I did. Such is the plight of being a millennial. I don't think we were ever taught to take sick days.
No.
Right? I mean, we were taught perfect attendance and you get rewarded for that. And
you're probably not because of where you grew up, but I remember my high school for like a couple of years, there was a car dealership in town that every senior that had perfect attendance got entered to win a car.
Oh, I mean, no, it wasn't that, but there were definitely there were different awards and rewards of different kinds.
Oh yeah,
from the time we were kindergarten
awards and stuff like that.
But I mean, some of them came with stuff.
Yeah.
And not necessarily a car, but
not everyone got the car. Like you got entered to win, right? So the 4 or 5 people that had perfect attendance, they drew one name to win a car.
It's just so funny because I preach it all day to my students. If you are sick, do not come to this class. Yeah. I do not want you here.
Okay, hypocrite.
And then I come and do it anyway because I feel like I am letting them down. Welcome to millennial imposter syndrome.
You can either let them down or spread the ick.
I mean, at least it was not like the ick. Don't say a word. It was not.
You give me the ick sometimes.
That's just rude. We have a podcast right now that people can listen to where you're telling them I give you the ick.
Meh.
Okay, maybe Doug's going to be the next ghost. And not me.
Oh.
Not me.
What?
Not Hermione. You.
No.
Why? It is not late. I don't know why I'm already doing crazy stuff.
And we're supposed to record another episode tonight, sir.
Doesn't make it not funny.
Ugh.
I've already been at work today. Like, let's not even pretend. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Who goes first today?
You went first last time.
Okay, so you.
You went first last episode. So.
Yes. I was like, I don't even know. We didn't.
What?
The skeleton that we talked about.
Listen. I tried so hard the
to
other
find
day
one?
to find because Aldi had them.
Ooh.
Aldi posted on Instagram. They had 5-foot skeletons for like $30.
Yeah, that's what I've seen them for typically.
They were sold out. I went to Walmart. Both Walmarts in Bowling Green. Both sold out. Target, sold out. Lowe's, sold out. Evidently, if you wanted Halloween decorations, you had to buy them a month ago.
What? It's just now September 30th. Like, we're just now getting to the...
Yep. Evidently, if you wanted anything Halloween, you had to buy it a month ago. Looked at the Walmart here today. Sold out.
Oh, my God. Well, guess we don't get to have a skeleton yet that can wear the merch.
The Target did have one.
But it was probably expensive.
Well, no, it wasn't too bad. It was like $40. But it was gold. And
no.
Honestly, I've realized the 5-foot one's not going to work.
So it has to be a 6-foot one?
It's going to be like a 6 or 7-foot one to be big enough.
For the shoulders.
Either that or we have to get like a toddler-sized sweatshirt.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was going to say we'll show off a skeleton with the merch, but not right now. We'll find one.
Picture of the merch.
Continuing to go, Jeremy, insert this here. I want you to do that every time, though. Like, throw your hand up.
I'm not doing that. I'm not Vanna White.
Why not? If you're going to be mad if I put a little Vanna White on your hand.
Why would you put a Vanna White on my hand?
Because you did this.
No, you're doing it. I'm going to steal the SD card.
No, you're not. Okay. Anyway.
All right.
We're going to tell some more spooky stories from college campuses.
That's what we do.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what this entire podcast is about.
Oh.
Yeah.
I misunderstood the assignment.
Oh, you're like one of your students. That was an insult on them.
That was, I don't know what that was. I want every student that listens to this to be mad.
All right. So, you want to go to New York?
I mean, I am next week.
Yeah, you are going to New York.
I'm literally going to New York next weekend.
But you're not going to this place.
No, I'm going to Manhattan.
Yeah. No, we're going to go to Oneonta.
I don't even think I can say that. And do it respectfully, you know.
I definitely have the phonetic pronunciation at the top of my notes.
Oh my gosh.
But the State University of New York at Oneonta, also known as SUNY Oneonta, is a public university in Oneonta, New York. It's part of the SUNY system, which is the State University of New York. It is the largest system of public colleges and universities in the United States.
Oh, it is.
With like 64 campuses, 360,000 students. It encompasses every public university or college in the state of New York except for City College.
Well, yeah, that one's the inside college. I don't know if that's the right wording.
So SUNY Oneonta was established in 1889 as the Oneonta Normal School as part of founding normal schools across the state to train teachers and expand public education. So like every other state institution, it feels.
I was about to say all of them.
It was located in a building nicknamed Old Main at the top of Maple Street.
You'll know why I made that face later.
Because every college, it seems, has an Old Main.
We didn't, and Western didn't. And...
No, but a lot of colleges do, and I'm guessing your story today also has an Old Main.
Yeah.
The school's first principal was James M. Milne, for whom the college's current library is named.
Oh.
No.
Also a principal of a college.
Right.
That's just such a weird thing to consider.
Well, I think it's because a lot of these normal schools started off doing just secondary education to get people in the area ready for a college.
And then they're like, okay, we got you.
It's like college readiness classes.
Oh, no. What were they called? College prep classes was what they were called when I was in school.
Yeah.
CP.
But for nearly 40 years, Old Main was the only building on campus until 1933 when Bugbee School was built, which is, I love that name.
Bugs Bunny.
Named after Percy I. Bugbee.
I'm sorry, Percy. I was being disrespectful of your last name.
The second principal of the Oneonta Normal School. Bugbee School provided an on-campus training facility for the student teachers attending the normal school. So,
yay.
Yeah. In 1948, the college became a founding member of the SUNY system, and the Oneonta Normal School was officially renamed the State University College of Education in 1951.
Okay.
Today, SUNY Oneonta is home to around 6,000 students.
Wow. I mean, that's not a small school.
Not at all. So,
someone listening is going, 6,000? Really?
I mean, and someone listening is going,
6,000? Right.
Oh, so we're pretty big fans of university archives and libraries.
Oh, yes. Right? Yeah, I used one today for mine.
They're typically like our biggest source when searching new stories.
They are now. Like, we didn't start out doing that. Like, why were we not smart enough?
Obviously.
We both have master's degrees that we had to use those things to research.
I mean, I used like journals and stuff.
Yeah, I used all at JSTOR.
Yeah. But what if the archives is the story?
What?
So many staff members, student workers, and custodians at Oneonta believe the Alden Room, a small room on the third floor of the Milne Library that contains the college archives, photographs, and scrapbooks, is haunted by its namesake, Jessica Alden.
I mean, it does sound kind of interesting.
Right? So Miss Alden attended Oneonta Normal School and graduated in 1906. After completing the library course at Simmons College and then teaching in Massachusetts and California.
Okay. Pop off, girl.
Had to go sow some wild oats, I guess.
I guess.
Miss Alden returned to Oneonta Normal School in 1912 when she joined the staff of 26 faculty.
26.
She was Oneonta's first librarian and worked at the college until 1944.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
That is a really, like...
It's like a 32-year tenure.
Right, but a lot of librarians, like, they get very... librarians, library directors, blah, blah, blah. They get very attached to their institutions.
Very invested. I mean, they're literally building a collection.
Right. And I mean, that happens with everyone, I think, in their areas. But I've just noticed libraries, that is a big thing.
Yeah. So the Milne Library was constructed in 1974, and the Alden Room has been a fixture ever since. So when they built the library, they built the Alden Room, named it the Alden Room right then in the 70s. But it is just sort of a separated reading room. It houses special collections, has a bunch of seating, things like that. I'll have some pictures of it later. But librarians have reported suddenly feeling cold while working in this room. One even saying that she felt a pushing sensation on her back as if someone wanted her to leave. Jessica wasn't having her.
Jessica said, "Get out."
Librarian.
I almost said, "Get out, you heifer."
Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Librarians and custodians both say they hear footsteps and other noises after the library is closed, see shadows flit across the walls, and watch rocking chairs move by themselves.
There's something about a rocking chair moving.
Yep. I'm really glad there's a backpack in the one upstairs that just kind of stays there.
I have never, in all the time I've had that, and I've had it literally since I bought this house, when my grandparents were like, "Hey, you should have this." I have no idea why, really, but they wanted me to have it. But it's never rocked on its own.
That you know of.
Okay, if it rocks while I'm not here, live it up. Like,
all right. But one student worker in Oneonta, Sarah, had seemingly had more experiences than most Oneonta staff. So this was reported in the campus newspaper, the library's blog, several other places. Sarah asked her last name not be used.
Oh, okay.
Because
fair.
Yeah. So in 2016, there was a strong rainstorm over the summer, and there was actually some construction going on the third floor of the library, and rainwater found its way in and flooded the Alden room, reaching the carpet and the baseboard. And if you know anything about libraries, water is not your friend.
Water is danger.
Right. So a whole wall of bookshelves, as well as books and furniture, had to be moved while the area dried out over the summer. And so Sarah returned to work at the beginning of the fall semester to find the Alden room was in a complete state of chaos with furniture everywhere. Just no one had been able to get around to getting it back together.
Right.
So she kind of made it her personal mission to put the Alden room back in order.
Okay.
So it was on a Friday afternoon that Sarah was returning the furniture back to its original locations, and she was trying to move a desk, but it wouldn't move at all. It was a heavy wooden double-sided desk that belonged to Dr. Royal Netzer, who was college president in the 1950s and 60s.
Okay.
That sounds like a position in a court.
I know, I was going to say.
The Royal Netzer.
Why does that have the bring me a shrubbery?
I mean, yes.
That's where you were pulling that from.
That was. So Sarah tried for hours to move this desk, and at some point got frustrated and momentarily gave up. She sat on the floor next to the desk and yelled out, "If anyone is in here and can hear me, I'd really love some help moving this desk. I'm just trying to put the room back together."
Not what I would have said, because I would have just sat there and cried, because I guarantee she was frustrated.
Right. So after a while, she decided to try moving the desk one more time. When she did, it immediately moved across the floor.
Of course it did.
She was surprised by how fast and easily the desk moved. Sarah was convinced that someone or something had helped her move the desk.
That's a nice ghost.
Ghost moving company?
Dude. That's way better than gentrifying the ghost world. Oh, but you would need it to gentrify the ghost world, wouldn't you?
But then you're giving them jobs, I guess.
That, I didn't like that.
But this was not the only paranormal activity Sarah would experience. One day, Sarah came into the Alden room through the back staff entrance. When she opened the door, she saw something very strange. A lady in a white dress that appeared to be from the early 1900s. This lady was sitting in the blue chair. There's only one blue chair in the Alden room. And Sarah claimed that she could see right through the lady to the back of the chair. Sarah rubbed her eyes for a quick second. When she opened them, the lady was gone. At first, Sarah was terrified from the encounter. So she decided to bring her aunt to the Alden room.
Now, girl, what's your aunt going to do?
So apparently her aunt had some extrasensory,
clairvoyant
type abilities, or reported to. And Sarah kind of wanted some validation, it felt like.
Me too, girl.
Right. So her aunt did sense a spiritual vibe in the room. That's literally how it was written in the story. It was a spiritual
vibes.
And perceived multiple ghosts. But discerned that the ghost meant no harm.
Well, I mean, that's good.
Yeah. So after this experience, Sarah started looking into the story a little bit more, started researching, found out that Jessica Alden actually died in a nursing home in her 80s.
Okay.
In Oneonta. But through that research, Sarah saw a picture of someone who looked exactly like the ghost she saw in the chair, and it was Jessica Alden.
Listen, she got to protect her stuff.
Right? Sarah isn't the only staff member who's seen the ghost of Jessica Alden sitting in the blue chair, so much so that it is known as Jessica's chair, and that even when the room is hosting a special event or, it's busy with a class visit, people tend to save the blue chair as a seat for Jessica.
Oh, it would have its own plaque. It would just have something on it so that you knew, do not sit in this.
Mm-hmm.
If we are nice, she will keep being nice to us.
Exactly.
Be respectful.
Be respectful. All right. So, short, sweet, but I just thought it was really cool because it's in a library.
Because it is, it's physically inside of a library, which I'm just going to say that was a nicer way of there being a haunting in a library than I was worried about. Because when you said the stacks, or in the archives,
You pictured the stacks.
I pictured the stacks, which for me turns into, when you're walking in the stacks of a library, you could run up on anyone.
Yep.
Or they could come up on you while you're looking at stuff. It could be, it has been, because we both know I get very, I don't know why, I get very jumpy at times.
You Jumpy?
So I have been startled in a library before.
Yeah.
In that way. But in the archives, the other thought is, those archive...
Oh, okay.
The stacks that like open where they store stuff. That is what I was concerned with too.
That someone got
squished.
Yeah, no. Not that kind of archive. This is more like reading room archives. So I do have photos.
Oh yeah. Photos.
Yeah.
Oh, was that her?
So, yep, that first picture is Jessica Alden.
She's really pretty.
Yeah. Very much like a grandma librarian vibe. So,
but she looks just like very young, but also white hair.
Yeah.
So, top skin routine, like drop it.
The next photo is a picture of the Milne Library, which very 70s architecture.
Extremely.
Yeah. The next picture is a picture of the Alden Room as it was constructed when it first opened. Again, very 70s.
But also like, I like it.
That red carpet.
The red carpet could go, but
is it me or does it look like the carpet and the chairs are made out of the same fabric?
It does.
But I could definitely like study there.
Oh yeah, that's why I was like, it feels cozy.
Yeah. They do have very specific rules for this room nowadays. The next picture is what the room currently looks like. So we went from red carpet to green carpet.
Are those the same chairs?
Some of those are the same chairs.
I was like, those are not old. Those wooden chairs. We have like 4 of those at the theater.
Yeah.
I love them.
So there, like I said, there are very specific rules for the Alden Room. You're not allowed to take pens or markers in, but you can take pencils in.
That's fair.
You can also take your computer in and you can take pictures of things, just no flash. You're not allowed to take any food or drink in. Like, it's very much like these things are very special and one of a kind. So,
right. We want to protect.
Yep. The Alden Room also houses one of the largest collections of lantern slides in the United States.
Okay.
Which is kind of what it sounds like. It is an old school slide projector that you slid a whole like glass pane into, and it had a lantern. And that's what it used to project.
Right.
So, just a very random.
And it would have to be a glass pane because otherwise it wouldn't be big enough to see.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yep. And then that last picture there is Jessica's chair.
You know what? She can have that chair.
Yep. And there's actually flowers on the back.
It also just doesn't look comfy.
It doesn't at all. But
so,
it looks very 70s.
It does look very 70s, but it just looks really uncomfortable.
Yeah. I do like those, like, I don't know what you would call them on the arms.
Well, it is the arms.
Yeah, it's the arms. But it's like, it'd be really easy to like use those to like get up out of that chair.
Well, yeah, they look like spindles on stairs.
But, so yeah, that is the story of the Alden Room at SUNY Oneonta.
Yay! Okay, I actually really liked that. And sorry, my computer decided to say, hold on, wait for me.
You're going too fast.
You're going too fast. Okay, well, we're going to stay in the Northeast, at least.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Kutztown University.
Pennsylvania?
In Kutztown, Pennsylvania, yeah. I have all my sources listed here, so when you go to make the show notes, I'm sorry. But I bullet all of them. But it's like, there's an article from, it says McCall, but that's not what it is. That's not the name of the actual place, which, you know what? The Morning Call, I had to pay for a year of your subscription to get this article, so you're welcome. Actually, I needed like 3 articles from them. So there's stuff like that. There's a story on her campus, a story on PennsylvaniaParanormal.tumblr.com.
Ooh.
There's stuff from Kutztown.edu, several things. The library.kutztown.edu/digital collections.
Of course.
Because it helped. And also things about this specific story from some other places. But you all can find all of that in the show notes. So we're going to go up and talk about Kutztown, which on September 15th, 1866, the Keystone State Normal School was established on what is now the site of Old Main.
Always.
Which is where our entire story is going to be today.
We really need to start a bingo game. It's like Old Main, normal school.
Right? Like just bing, bing, bing.
Yep.
So, The needs of a burgeoning industrialization in the region placed more and more demands on teacher preparation. And in 1928, the institution was designated Kutztown State Teachers College and authorized to confer the bachelor's degree.
Ooh.
The big fancy bachelor's degree, yes. Now, eventually, the area's needs for liberally educated personnel to staff its industries outstripped the needs for teachers, which is, yeah. We just changed, like the industry for the world and the United States changed, which meant that the college needed to change as well. So in 1960, the Department of Education changed the institution's name to Kutztown State College. So we left behind the idea of the normal school and the teacher's college to become an actual state college.
Yeah.
It diversified its goals towards a center for learning for the best possible education of the youth of Pennsylvania in the arts and sciences and preparation of able and dedicated teachers. So they retained some of those ideas of teacher education, but they kind of transitioned away from it to be more broad.
And they're still doing teacher education.
Right. I mean, yeah, of course. So on July 1st, 1983, the institution became known as Kutztown University of Pennsylvania, of the state system of higher education.
That doesn't fit on a t-shirt.
No, it's just Kutztown University.
Yeah.
So as of fall 2018, the university enrollment was approximately 8,300 full and part-time undergraduate and graduate students. So right around the same as what you were talking about. So our story today focuses around the oldest building on Kutztown's campus.
Old Main.
Old Main. Sorry, should I do everything in that
in the old Greg voice?
Old Main, built in 1864.
That's a particular ASMR.
Old Main is the oldest and most historic building on campus.
You sound like a late night radio DJ.
I know. Oh, I am not right. Okay. So it is the oldest and most historic building on campus. In its early years, at the close of the 19th century, Old Main was the institution's sole building, providing classroom, administrative, and living space.
Whoa.
That one's the one that always gets me, because most institutions, while they have classroom administration in the same building, they usually do build a second thing as a residence.
Or they just use like boarding houses and host families and stuff that are already in town.
So this one's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now, according to the Kutztown website, Old Main has maintained its historic beauty and charm, including its resident, friendly ghost, Mary.
Oh.
According to many students, Mary can sometimes be seen quietly roaming Old Main's corridors. But who is Mary? And what exactly do students mean by quietly roaming the halls? Because that does not, I don't like that.
Yeah, like I don't want to just pass a ghost on my way to class.
Right.
Is this Hogwarts? Like,
it feels really, really strange to me. But the reason I wanted to tell this was because it has a really good way of talking about her.
There's something about Mary, isn't there?
Oh my God. I'm not even a big fan of that movie.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not a great movie.
No.
So, to start off, Mary Snyder was a very real student who attended Keystone State Normal School in the 1860s.
Okay.
She was from Ole Line, Pennsylvania, or Limekiln in some articles. Limekiln, Pennsylvania.
Is it the same place with two names?
I guess. I tried to look it up and couldn't figure out what the difference was. So one article said, one newspaper article said Ole Line, and one newspaper article said Limekiln. So
maybe it changed its names at some point.
But she was the daughter of Squire W.H. Snyder. Right? I have no idea why that was reported.
Like a squire, like for a knight?
That's what I was getting.
Is that a title or a name?
It's a title. Because one article used squire, one article did not.
Well, and then is it lawyers that become esquire?
It could have been something like that. I could not find a reasoning for why they used squire.
Weird.
I don't understand. Old newspapers, man.
Ugh.
Anyway, So she was, by all accounts, a particularly precocious student and an excellent friend to all of the people that she went to school with. Unfortunately, Mary would not live to see her own commencement day. It gets worse. It gets worse. Okay, are you about to talk about how commencement days are, like, very long?
Well, I mean, I was going to say something commenced.
Oh, God. You're not going to like that when I tell you about this. On the night of June 26, 1895, Mary would pass away at the age of 22, just hours before the end of her college career. No. It was the night before she was going to graduate.
No.
See, I told you were going to regret that. Now, here's the problem with this, though. The accounts of her death vary a pretty great deal. Mm-hmm. So we have a few versions, so bear with me here. Let's see where. Oh, I scrolled. Okay.
Scrolled too far.
One version says that Mary had become pregnant. And in the 19th century, it was frowned upon, if not.
Like scandal.
Right. It was frowned upon, if not strictly forbidden, to become pregnant out of wedlock. And according to this version of the story, the father was a professor.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the circumstances were much worse than typical unwed conception due to that fact.
Yeah.
The professor wanted to save his reputation, and he wanted Mary to have an abortion. Mary refused. Fair.
Yeah, her choice.
Exactly. One day, the professor lured Mary into the clock tower of the building and killed her. And when Mary was found, she was hanging from the rafters from a rope.
Oh my God.
It was presumed that she had killed herself. Yeah, that one's got to be not
garbage?
Real. I mean, for real. But rest assured, we believe that one is totally messed up because there's no evidence that was even remotely true, because that's not even how she actually died.
Okay.
If that makes you feel any better.
It does.
But I mean, that's like the whole thing about folklore and urban legends. Mm-hmm. They take on this massive life of their own.
Well, and again, we talked about this a couple episodes ago. Like, everything's got to be sensationalized.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Did she have leprosy too? Like,
no, I forgot about that though. That was my story.
It was.
Okay, so another version of this story says Mary Snyder, top of her class, became pregnant. So that's back in. Mm-hmm. Just as she was finishing the final weeks of her schooling. Unable to face the shame of walking at her graduation ceremony with her pregnancy showing, which, that's already messed up. She would have to be pretty far along to be showing.
I mean, yeah. Also, graduation gowns cover a multitude
of
sins.
And they've been used for so many centuries. Like, that style of gown for graduation is a very old thing.
I mean, maybe she just had that much of a pregnancy glow that
she was literally a light bulb. So Mary decided that she would attempt to give herself an abortion before her pregnancy would show. Now, here's the problem I have with this. It just is like such a commentary on what people were so concerned with at the time.
Morality, please.
Well, it's like, yeah, why are we... Oh my gosh, the story has turned into something insane because we want to make...
It's become a warning.
It's a warning. Yeah.
It's become a warning. Like, don't end up like Mary.
It's a cautionary tale. Yeah, I know. So, Mary twisted a wire hanger trying to kill her baby. That's as far as I'm going to go with that.
Yep.
And unfortunately, Mary was unable to complete the procedure correctly, and she died from her injuries. Also not accurate. Unless there's a massive cover-up between these two, like, sensational versions of the story.
Yeah.
And what was reported in newspapers.
Okay, let's go with the facts.
Yeah.
Then.
Unless someone really heavily covered it up. We're just like...
I mean, colleges and universities have done shadier things.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's really, really messed up. the way that it was approached.
Yeah.
Now, newspapers at the time, there were two major newspapers reporting. One of them said, Miss Mary Snyder began to complain soon after the final examination, and her condition grew gradually worse until Wednesday morning when she breathed her last. I mean, it's a pretty, like, straight to the point version.
Condition?
She got sick and she died.
Oh, okay.
Like, but see how, like, little you get in that one?
Well, and so that makes sense, though, why it was easy for them to, like, extrapolate out a story.
Oh, wait. There's another newspaper.
Okay.
This is so bad. It's just such a big thing about what has changed and how we report news.
Yeah.
So, the headline, Too Much Study Killed Her. Wait. Too much study has killed Miss Mary Snyder, a member of the class of 1895 of the Keystone State Normal School at Kutztown, who would have been graduated on Wednesday last with high honors. She died suddenly on Wednesday morning, the result undoubtedly of overstudy. The physicians gave a certificate of inflammation of the brain. The young lady complained to a roommate at 2 o'clock Wednesday morning of feeling ill, and an hour later was a corpse. She was in her 22nd year and had taught school for several terms. She was the youngest child of Squire William H. Snyder of Limekiln, Berks County. What? But that one is those two reports of her dying of some pre-existing condition, something that just happened.
Yeah.
You know, that makes way more sense.
Yeah. Well, and that point in time, that could have been like appendicitis.
Right. It could have been
inflammation of the brain.
It could have been an aneurysm.
Yeah, true.
Right? And that would have explained a lot of the situation. Mm-hmm. But whole point being, why'd they have to do it this way? The too much study killed her. Her brain swelled because she studied too much.
Cautionary tale. Women shouldn't be studying this much.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't know. It's just so bizarre. Those 4 versions of this poor woman's death are all so insane.
But I think it is like, not to beat a dead horse, but
I hate that phrase.
I know. It gets sticky, right?
Ew.
The glue.
I know.
But anyway, so it is that thing that I know we've talked about on the show before with the Elizabeth Tucker, the folklorist.
Yeah.
It's one of the common tropes of college ghost stories. It is that cautionary tale of don't end up like this student.
Right.
Don't party too much, you'll end up like this. Don't have extramarital relationships, you'll end up like Mary. You know.
Don't have sex, you'll get pregnant and die.
Mean Girls is also a cautionary tale. Yes.
Mean Girls isn't a cautionary tale.
This is a cautionary tale. That's a lyric in the musical.
I forgot. Until that moment, and it played after you said it just like that. It played in my head.
It was playing in my head as I said it. So I'm going to get a copyright strike.
Just for it playing in our heads?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh. Well, in any case, this is a very like, hello? What did you just do?
I think I like took a drink of water and then the straw like fell down into the cup and it kind of... I'm going to stop now.
Just put the cup down. Anyway, so now we have to ask the question, based on all of this, we already know that even Kutztown.edu, they acknowledge that Mary is there in some way.
Okay.
So what do we need to know about that? How did that come about? Why are we still talking about it? Well, in 1991...
Okay.
Famed paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren visited Kutztown.
Bringing out the big guns.
Bringing out the Amityville Horror.
I mean, they are from that area.
Yeah. So they visited Kutztown and specifically went to Old Main. The morning call, again, you're welcome for my money, reported at the time From the moment that self-proclaimed clairvoyant Lorraine Warren stepped off the elevator onto the 5th floor, which is now a furniture supply storage area which is closed to students and most others, she said she sensed a ghostly presence. She said, more than one spirit, definitely more than one spirit. She said detecting both an elderly man and a 20-ish woman who appear to be trapped on Earth because of guilt. Now, both agree, however, the old Maine ghosts are friendly, both Ed and Lorraine. So Lorraine spoke directly to the spirit next.
Okay.
She said, the woman appears to be very frightened. Then she said she described her as a thin woman with glasses and dark grayish hair, white hair, neatly wrapped in a bun. She asks, what is it that troubles you? Why do you remain here? Let her know we're friends, Ed Warren advised. I'd like to be sympathetic to your pain, Lorraine Warren said in a clear, low, but firm voice. I'd like to try to help you accept your death and leave here. Tell her not to be afraid of the other spirits who come to her. Send her toward the light, Lorraine. Ed was speaking to his wife. Then Lorraine Warren asked the ghost to knock if she understood. It was uncertain whether a small scratching sound was a feeble, ethereal knock or the burp of an old building.
The burp?
It's literally what was written in this article, and I was like, oh my gosh, not burp. But Ed Warren responds confidently with, I think you got an answer. I'm sorry, that one, maybe it's just because Ed and Lorraine Warren carry with them that much, like, lore and stuff. I know everyone's like, if people listen to this, they're going to go, they were disproven. It wasn't real. The Amityville horror story was not real. They made it up. I don't care.
Yeah. I also don't know if it's going to pick up on the mic, but right after you said, I think you got an answer, there was a cricket.
I did. I heard the cricket, but I don't know.
I don't know if it'll get picked up, but there was a cricket that went chirp, chirp, chirp.
That cricket is the ghost of the Warrens. Get my name out your mouth. Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, that one just like Ed and Lorraine Warren. Oof, yeah. I don't know. But then students have also reported a lot of encounters with Mary. So we start with this one. 2 students say they doubt that ghosts exist, but grapple to explain things that have happened to them. And one day earlier this month, which is when this was written, the first student said that she spilled a glass of water on her white clock radio.
Oh, no.
And she unplugged the radio and set it back on her desk to dry. She did not put it in rice. She said that 20 minutes later, the radio, which had no batteries and was not plugged in, just began to play. She says, I was stunned. It wasn't the station I even had it on. I don't know what it was.
Ghost radio.
Ghost radio. She jiggled the on-off switch, and as suddenly as it started, the radio stopped. I mean, wouldn't you?
My radio is haunted. Let me turn it off and turn it back on again.
You would at least go up to it and go, what is this?
Yeah.
So, no, it's not that. So the second student had an encounter in the shower, which, I'm sorry.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
No.
I don't like it.
If you're a ghost, don't haunt me in the shower.
Don't haunt me in the shower.
It's a very vulnerable time.
So it was about 12:30 a.m., and most of the other students had gone home for the weekend. It was like a holiday weekend. Mm-hmm. Lights in the bathroom flickered, and she felt the cold water from a nearby stall on her back. I don't like that.
Ugh.
At first, I thought it was my imagination. But then I saw a stream of water squirting over at me from a couple showers down. Again, why squirting?
Don't like this language.
But she checked the stall for a prankster and didn't find anyone. So this water was just on for no reason. No one else was there.
Yep, no.
She said, I don't know if I believe in ghosts, but I do believe in eerie things. Other students say that they've sneaked up onto that 5th floor in hopes of catching a glimpse of Mary. They tell of stories of trying to contact Mary with seances and Ouija boards. It's going to be in every story now because I've just put the gauntlet down. I hate Ouija boards.
So it's going to pop up in every story you even try to find.
Yep. I just know it is. So they have asked not to be named in any of these articles because students are not allowed on the 5th floor.
Oh.
What is that in Harry Potter? Students are not to go onto the something floor corridor. It's in the first movie.
The 3rd floor corridor on the left-hand side is out of bounds.
I can hear it from the audiobook from when I was a kid, but it's the same thing. Harry, Ron, Hermione, they're not going to tell.
So I'm going to get my invisibility cloak and my Ouija board.
We're mixing so much right now that I can't deal with it. So all in all, though, no matter how she died or if it even is her, it seems that Mary Snyder is determined to remain at Old Main until such time as she can be allowed to commence across the stage, which won't be ever. Sorry.
Ghost graduation.
That could be an interesting thing. But I do have pictures.
Okay.
Not like a ton, but a few. So if you look on that second slide, that's a beautiful image of Old Main.
Yep.
It has that very specific, Georgian college thing.
That is like American college.
Right. You see that and you go, every movie ever.
Honestly, yeah. I expect to see some leaves like drift by.
Right. The second one is actually a really old image of, it's like what am I trying to say? It's a pencil illustration.
Yeah.
Of Old Main, which to me, again, still looks so American institution.
Yeah.
Even in this picture. The third one is my favorite.
It's a postcard,
It's a postcard image. It's on the 4th slide, but it's just a beautiful postcard image that does give straight up Americana. I only did it because it was fun.
Looks like it's in watercolors.
I know. I love a postcard image. Okay. Anyway, now the 5th slide has the 2 articles from the newspapers.
Oh, okay.
And you can see in all caps on that second one, too much study killed her. What?
I can't.
I don't know. It just feels like a lot.
Did you see the next article?
Only 4 loads of hay from a pig farm.
Moses L. Miller, a farmer residing near Hamburg, has just completed the harvesting of his hay crop. So it must have been a bad hay year. So clearly this newspaper tends to exaggerate.
Really? I never would have imagined. But it's just interesting. It's a lot of fun in terms of like being able to look back at that stuff. And then that last one, those are images from the Snyder Society, their website, where they were actually going through and ghost hunting. Now, the Snyder Society, I didn't get into it, but I did link them in the show note things. They were actually founded as a student organization.
Yeah.
Because they were developed out of a wanting to find the truth about Mary. Because, all these stories had existed. So they were doing all this research, and they kind of are echoing this thing called I think it was called the Philothemian, or something like that. Philothemian. I sound like I'm having like an actual stroke.
Do you smell toast?
Yeah. No, it's a real thing. But what was so cool is they were founded to kind of echo that because they were really trying to find truth because they had lots of issues with what was going on. What people were saying. They had issues trying to deal with all that. Yeah, it was. It's the club reimagines the former Philomathian Literary Society and honors the eponymous Mary Snyder, a former KU student who died in 1895 mysteriously, right near her graduation time. So they were founded based on Mary Snyder anyway. They were trying to do that research, and now they have they're a whole club that exists within the English department.
Oh. Did you notice in the article clipping, the first one, that Mary's classmates wore a badge of mourning on commencement day and for 30 days after?
Yeah, they were really nice to her. Okay, so I wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about. The Philomathian Society at the University of Pennsylvania. It's a collegiate literary society. And basically their whole thing is for those who feel that college should be about more than just getting a degree.
Oh, yeah.
So what everyone should think about college?
Yes, but I've come across the literary societies in a couple, in a few stories. I don't think we've ever talked about them on here, but it's this it's like this next level of what college and, like.
Right. It's not quite what Sigma Tau Delta is, which is the English Honor Society.
Yeah, it's more about like, why am I trying, like, bringing like an intellectual discourse,
right, into the entire world around college and university education.
Yeah, this is a very weird like reference, but the Golden Compass series, the HBO.
Mm-hmm.
What?
You just referred to it as an HBO series and not a book.
Because I can visually see it from I read the first book, but like where all the faculty get together and like discuss like all the things that are going on.
Yeah, like that's true.
It is like a gathering of scholars.
Well, Mary Snyder was involved in that when she was in undergrad at Kutztown or Keystone, what she went to. And these people are kind of like bringing that back. So they kind of pick a thing what it seems like is they pick a thing to be interested in for that year. Yeah, they just do a deep dive every year.
They pick a hyperfixation.
Ooh, that's too much. That's too much, sir.
Too real?
Real.
Is that too much truth for you?
Yes. There's too much truth for me today. But that is Kutztown University. I actually like that story a lot.
Yeah. I like the aspect of all these things that it was made out to be.
But they were so far off.
Yeah. All right.
They missed the mark. I don't know.
Not a vibe.
Not a vibe.
But it is a vibe to check out our website at creepycampuspod.com. I hate you.
That was a thing in a lot of my theater classes when I was in school.
I was trying to match.
Mimicking. It's mirroring. We do mirror exercises, and if you can watch someone's mouth, you can. I won't be able to do it without watching your mouth.
Good.
Anyway, go to creepycampuspod.com. There's lots of fun stuff there.
Yeah, you can find our show notes. You can find old episodes. You can find our merch
store.
You can also you can contact us there if you have a ghost story from your campus, or
please give us hints on things.
Make our job easier.
Make our job just slightly easier, and we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh.
Doug's done. Doug's done with this. Anyway, you'll also find links to all of our social media outlets there. Yeah. So we'll see y'all later. Bye.